Good morning. Mr. Bagby here with your daily work assignment and video. Quarter number 2, day number 11, 55 overall, Tuesday, November 10th, 2020. Please make sure you let me know today if you're interested in coming into school to take the writing assessment. Thanks. So far, I only know of one student, so please let me know today. And if you haven't taken that ISIP test yet, please take it if you can. We are going to be reading A Wrinkle in Time, of course. That's our new class novel. Your dual book report is due Friday. Make sure you're working on that. Don't wait till Friday morning. We have another test on review of types of sentences on quizzes today. And use the code if you need it, but you probably won't. Blackbeard the Pirate, day number 2. There's another fun video. In fact, it's hilarious. It's British children with their lovely British accents describing pirates. So enjoy that. And if you didn't get a chance to watch your overview of ancient Mesopotamia, there's the video again. And this is another project that's due Monday. We're going to really check today to make sure you're working on that. And again, the requirements: know your elevation, know your flood zone, fill out your map here, and tell us about your town, village, or city, depending on where you live. The visual, well, let's see. Did we miss something here? Nope. There's your map. And there's your gifted block puzzles, the new ones. Yesterday, the answers are right there. And the new ones for the last day of visual puzzles are right here. The two buttons, the two button collections that are exactly the same, and match the pieces of chair parts into this. Remember, you can make these bigger and smaller. So feel free to make them bigger or smaller to help you see the answer. Good news on the tropical storm Eta update. For us, it appears that the storm is going to just track straight up and then go west a little bit, but it doesn't look like it's going to hook towards Tampa. And we have an update to the election, not electoral results yet, but the totals. Joe Biden has now built up almost a 5 million vote lead. Why don't we get an exact number there? And we can say the exact number. So it's 76,343,332 minus 71,444,567. That would be 4,898,765 votes that Biden has the lead. You can round that up to 5 million. We'll see what the total amount is eventually. But that is a very large lead in terms of popular vote. But President Trump still has not conceded, and he will continue his rallies and try to get legal support to overturn the election results. We'll see how that goes. Wrinkle in Time, and then we have our Ancient Mesopotamia introduction. Also today, I'm going to be showing you on Mayan the book that you're going to be reading on ancient Sumer, because the ancient Mesopotamian area was settled first by the Sumerians, then you had the Akkadians, then you had the Assyrians, then you had the Persians, then you had the Babylonians. I might have gotten the order wrong, but you had all kinds of different groups. But the very first group that settled ancient Mesopotamia are known as the Sumerians, and they're the ones that developed the cuneiform writing, and that's why we know so much about them, because we have discovered their clay tablets of their writing. So let's read the rest of that ancient Mesopotamia chapter. There it is. Life in Mesopotamia. There's the Euphrates River. The northern part of Mesopotamia was covered with mountainous terrain, and the southern portion was primarily marshlands and expansive flat plains. The two rivers brought in fertile land for growing strong crops, which at that time were mostly wheat as well as barley. The two rivers made the transportation of goods easy throughout the area. Wool for cloth became an important export. As the people began to grow more food, there was a change in the social structure. Slaves were the lowest class, but they were generally treated fairly. The common people were those who provided most of the labor along with help from slaves. Over 80% of these people were farmers. Closer to the top of the social classes were the merchants and craftsmen. During the Sumerian civilization, these classes created cuneiform writing in order to keep a record of imports and exports. So the very first writing had everything to do with keeping track of how much you were trading up and down the river. That's a very important thing in terms of like profit and loss and keeping track of your goods. Higher ranking than the merchants and craftsmen were the soldiers, who kept the civilization secure and conquered neighboring peoples. At this level were also the educated scribes, who were generally the sons of the elite class of nobles or priests. At the top of the social structure was the king, and his right-hand manager was called the vizier. The Mesopotamian government was a combination of democracy with a monarchy. The kings reigned over the people, who were organized into four classes previously described: the priests and nobles, the upper class of scribes in the military, the lower class of laborers, who were mostly farmers, and the lowest class, which consisted of slaves. Religion was important to the Mesopotamians, and their beliefs are some of the oldest that archaeologists have records to verify. They believed that their world was controlled by a group of gods and goddesses. They also believed that mythical creatures made everything in the natural world. Some of their major deities were Adad, Ashur, Enki, and Anu, but there were dozens of others. Their myths consisted of stories that were repeated and included demons with human bodies, topped by animal heads, and other monstrous creatures. Innovations in the Mesopotamian culture. This ancient culture developed the first system of writing. They are also credited with inventing the wheel. They learned to control both floods and drought conditions through the use of irrigation, which allowed them to become expert farmers. It's quite a list there: writing, the wheel, controlling floods, irrigation. And that's where we'll stop, because this is an introductory book to ancient civilizations, and they go on to describe Egypt, which we've already studied, and the Indus River Valley, which we'll be studying next. So thank you for paying attention. We'll stop this share, stop the recording, and get on with our day. Looking forward to reading A Wrinkle in Time.